Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Maria, and in this video I want to give you guys some real nursing career advice. I was going to title it 3 things that I would do differently as a newly qualified nurse, but I feel like all of this information is going to be very relevant for pre-registered nursing students, newly qualified nurses and more experienced nurses. This is just the sort of real advice that I honestly would give, like, I know, a younger sister or whatever. I have a feeling that this video is going to end up getting way more views than my normal nursing videos, and I'm going to be here sat lounging on the sofa with my gown, my phone. I've got the fireplace up on the TV. This is career advice, but specific career advice for nurses, okay? I hope that makes sense. It's not about how to be a nurse on the walls, it's just career advice. I'll put like a definition of career advice on the screen. First thing I would have done differently is negotiate my salary. Negotiate my salary, and don't listen to people who say agenda for change, all newly qualified nurses have to start at the bottom of band 5. Knowing what I know now, I would never have accepted the bottom of band 5, just because you don't actually need a degree to become a registered nurse. There are some registered nurses who have a diploma in nursing, so it makes sense that the higher your level of qualification, the higher your pay should be. Don't let anyone say that you cannot negotiate your salary. Yes, you can negotiate your salary. I have negotiated my salary. You can negotiate your salary. What you should do, just apply for an ordinary job, whether it's band 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just apply for any job as you normally would. Go for your interview. Once you're accepted and being offered a place, obviously it's going to be a conditional offer because you need to get your references. Once that's been done, once they get your contract, look over your contract. What I should really say is negotiate the terms of your contract, but obviously money is a big part of it. And once you've done that and they say, hey, can you sign this back to us, literally just send the recruiter or whoever you've been contacting at that particular hospital, at that particular job, and just say, hey, only do this if you genuinely feel as if you should be paid more than what they're offering you. Because if you genuinely feel that you should be paid more as a newly qualified nurse, as an experienced nurse, as a nurse with 5, 10, 1, 2, 50 years experience, only do it then, because then you will have more of a vim, more of a leg to stand on. But if you're only doing it just because a random girl called Maria on YouTube said it, you're not really gonna have any chance if there's any pushback, because there will be a pushback. The job is advertised as, I don't know, 50 to 54k. Why have I automatically been put on 50k? You obviously see something in me. Just word it that way. I'm gonna put maybe a quick draft on nursingpersonalstatement.co.uk, or maybe I'll just put a quick draft in the comments box below on how you can go about initiating the negotiation phase. So the second thing I would have done differently, recommend for newly qualified and experienced nurses, is that I would have considered, not that I would have considered starting off working part-time. When I started working as a nurse, I started working full-time, did that for like maybe a year or 2, and then I went part-time. Sometimes I would do bank to top up my salary. So for those of you guys who don't know what bank is basically the NHS's way of saying overtime. So let's just say, I don't know, you work full-time hours within the NHS, which is 37.5 hours, and there's overtime available. You would do that overtime under the umbrella of bank. Most of the trusts that I've come across, they stipulate that you must work a minimum of 2 shifts a week, or a minimum of 2 long shifts a week. That would be long days or nights. At some trusts, nights and days are exactly the same. So at the trust that I'm currently at, nights and days are exactly the same in terms of the hours. So a night shift is 11.5 hours, and a day shift, a long day shift, is 11.5 hours. And they say you have to work a minimum of 23 hours a week. That would be a minimum of 2 long days or 2 nights, or 1 long day, 1 night a week. Some hospitals, long day might be only 11 hours, and the night shift might be 12 or 13 hours. But yeah, make sure you're aware of how the shifts are broken down in terms of how many hours break you'll get and how many hours you'll actually get paid for a shift, because just because you're on site for 13 hours doesn't mean you're gonna get paid 13 hours. You may only be paid 11.5, or you may only be paid 12, or you may be paid 13 hours, depending on how the hours at that particular trust are broken down. So yeah, I would have considered doing part-time right from the jump, and then topped up with bank shift. But understand that your contracted hours you have one payroll number for that, and then your bank hours, you have another payroll number for that. So it may affect the amount of tax you pay depending on, I don't know, your income breakdown and all of that stuff. So the benefits of that is that you get more flexibility, because working as a nurse, your hours can be all over the place. Generally, what people say is that if you go full-time as a nurse, 37.5 hours a week, week 1, you'll have 3 long days or 3 nights. Week 2, you'll have 3 long days or 3 nights. Week 3, you'll have 3 long days, and then week 4, you'll have 4 long days. And one thing that I found, and one thing a lot of people found, was the week where you have 4 long days or 4 nights, that week is a killer. So what I'm finding is that a lot of nurses, rather than having the typical full-time hours of 37.5 hours a week, what they do is that, let's just say at my current trust, long days and nights are 11.5 hours each. Rather than them having a 37.5 hour contract, what a lot of them are saying are, give me a 23-hour contract, so I only work 2 long shifts a week. Or what they're saying is, maybe give me, what's 11.5? Or what they're saying is, give me a 34.5 hour contract, meaning that they will only ever work a maximum of 3 long days or 3 nights a week. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. When I say nights, I'm using nights and long days interchangeably. So that's definitely something that I would consider. Negotiate your salary, consider part-time, just negotiate the terms of your contract from the beginning. If you only want to do long days, make sure that is in your contract. If you only want to do nights, make sure that is in your contract. If you just want to work on a Monday, Tuesday and a Wednesday, make sure you let that be known from the jump before you sign any papers. Because once you sign papers, you sign papers. And if you say actually no, they can just say, but in the terms of your contract, you agree to work any day of the week. The labor workforce has completely changed. And I think with nursing is a bit different, because the power has always been in the hands of the employee when it comes to nursing, but I feel like a lot of nurses don't realize that. But you know, a lot of things that have happened, you know, 2020, 2021, I don't need to say what's happened. The labor workforce, not just for nursing, but for everywhere, has completely changed. And the power is in the hands of the employee. So if you do want to negotiate the terms of your contract, make sure you do that from the jump. Third thing I would have done differently as a newly qualified nurse, or, you know, things that I'd recommend to newly qualified nurses and experienced nurses, is I would have done, or I would have joined the NHS leadership program early on. You can start it as a newly qualified nurse, and it isn't just for nurses, it's for anybody who's working within the healthcare field in the NHS. And it's basically just a leadership program that gives you like a broad understanding of leadership and helping you to not accelerate your career, but helping you to have some sort of direction when it comes to doing well within the role that you've taken in the NHS. I will definitely leave a link in the description box below. It's all online. We'll leave a link for that in the description box below. This kind of carries on from my next point, but I'll put it all in one. But make sure you keep learning and don't wait for your ward managers or for mandatory training or for workforce to tell you that this is overdue or this is overdue. Work on your own learning. Be in the driving seat of your own learning. But yeah, overall, sign up for the NHS leadership program. That's one thing that I'd recommend for all nurses to do. The final thing that I would have done as a newly qualified nurse, that I recommend for new nurses, that I recommend for experienced nurses, is self-appraisal. Self-appraisal. Self-appraisal is so important, because from my experience, appraisals within the NHS isn't even great. If you get one, you get one. If you don't get one, you don't get one. But self-appraisal, if you tell yourself, I'm going to do a self-appraisal every 3 months, every 6 months, it's way better than relying on your manager to contact you about an appraisal. And some of you guys might be thinking, what is an appraisal? An appraisal is basically, self-evaluation. What have I done well in the past 3 months? What are my areas of development? What have I accomplished? What is one thing that I want to change about my practice and the way that I operate in this environment? How can I better get there? Are there any courses that can help me to get to where it is that I want to get to? Is there anybody that I can speak to that can offer me specific advice or give me tips, tricks and advice? Are there any conversations that I need to have with my managers or any senior members of staff? What is, you know, one thing? Is there a theme in terms of the feedback that I've been receiving from colleagues and patients? Is there a theme? Is there something that I can do with that? And the reason why I feel like self-appraisal is so important, especially in this time of, you know, 2020 and 2021, where everything has just been running rampant, it is so easy. I saw it in my first job and I was just like, I do not want that to be me. It is so easy to lose sight of what it is you want to achieve within the nursing profession. I've seen so many people's dreams being killed, so many people's dreams being destroyed or broken down or changed to fit in with what other people are doing. I feel like not self-evaluating, people who don't self-evaluate, they just go with the flow. Like only dead fish go with the flow. So yeah, self-appraisal. I do have like a paper, where is it? Where I wrote down, where is it? I wrote down like a list of questions. Do you guys like my fireplace? Anyway, I wrote down some questions. Where are you now? Highlight your accomplishments and goals. Reflect on challenges. Ask for growth opportunities. Always get a second, a third, or fourth opinion. Self-appraisal I've put is basically a performance review. Roughly 4 things, 4 career tips, advice that I'd do differently, that I'd give for newly qualified nurses, that I'd give for experienced nurses. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want more nursing career tips and advice, let me know and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.